Another common question. I get this all the time. Actually, most recently from my parents. My parents waited an extended amount of time between me and my brothers, so they were wondering a similar thing. Here's the question. What has more weight in the IT world? A college degree or certifications? Number one thing I'll say is this is a touchy thing, because I know many of the people that I'm talking to right now have college degrees, and many of them have certification, and people are immediately polarized in one direction or the other. So if I'm like, it's kind of a loaded question, because if I say, well, a college degree, then all the certification people are like, nonsense. Or if I say, well, certifications, then people, especially the people who have college degrees and have spent years and years and years and lots of money doing it, are like, what are you trying to say? So first off, let me put a neutral playing ground, and I will say, from my perspective, in a world that I can say anything is possible, I have seen more value in certifications than college degrees. But I've also seen people hit walls in their career to where they can't go further with a college degree. So let me see if I can encompass all that into a single explanation. Number one, certifications show an employer that you, number one, most of the time know what you're doing. And I will say there, a lot of times people have the terms paper MCSE or paper CCNA, which essentially describes somebody who can do it on paper, but they can't actually apply it in the real world. They've studied the books, they've learned what a scalpel is, but they've never done surgery. So taking that piece aside, certifications typically show an employer that, number one, you know what you're doing, and number two, you're current with technology. Because certifications typically have an expiration, 2-3 years, and they're gone unless you keep renewing them. So when somebody says, oh, I'm a CCNP or I'm a CCIE, somebody goes, oh, wow, okay, you must know what you're doing, meaning you've got a current certification, you've applied yourself, and you're current with this technology. Whereas somebody that says, oh, I have a degree in computer science, or I have a degree in computer system engineering, somebody's like, well, was that in 1992, or when was that achieved? What have you done since then? So certifications have a more current feel to them. Let's see, what else was I going to say on that? Certifications also have a continuing learning effect, meaning a college degree you can get and be done with, whereas a certification you have to continually renew. Now, let me get to the job market and talk about people getting jobs directly. If you're getting a job and you're wanting to work for the government, I have found in government work, college degrees have a much further path that they can go. The government says, okay, we have these checks that you have to have a college degree, or else you can only get this far, because we require a college degree to go further. So if you're looking for government work, a lot of times they'll say, well, you might want to consider going into a college degree because they have these requirements. And a lot of times large organizations, I mean, I'm talking the huge ones, will have the same kind of policies. But most of the time, if you're looking at the private sector, private companies, certifications will get you further, because you'll be able to get in. They'll say, wow, there's less bureaucratics, there's less requirements. They're like, okay, let's see if you can do it. And if you can do it, if you can do the job that you've been hired to do, there will be no invisible ceiling that keeps you from going further.